Aloha everyone, my name is Alessandro and this is the Temple of Surf, the podcast. We'll give you full access to the best surfers, skaters, shapers, surfboard collectors, shop owners in the world. Discover with me their stories, the greater successes, amazing behind the scenes, and much more. Aloha, welcome to the 14th episode of the Temple of Surf, the podcast. Today with us, big wave surfer, founder of the Late Drop podcast and world champion, Jamie Mitchell. We discuss with him about the podcast, surf, and much more. Hi, Jamie. Welcome to the show. Where are you today?
I am at Sunset Beach on the North Shore in Hawaii.
Amazing. And I guess in Hawaii, you can surf no problem, right? No coronavirus restriction.
No. I'm very lucky that through this whole corona thing we've been able to surf. There were some restrictions on hanging out at the beach a few months ago through the summer, but we've been very lucky that we've been able to surf through this whole thing.
Amazing. Today we're going to talk about many things, of course, related to surf. But the first question I have for you is, in your opinion, what is the most important thing in surfing?
I think, having fun. Surfing's all about having fun, and I think in this day and age, also, I think how we're treating the environment. As surfers, I think we are. We see the changes of the ever-changing, the ocean textures and the fishing and all that stuff, the trash and the rubbish. So I think that, as surfers, we're sort of guardians of the ocean in a way, So I think that, you see a lot of people doing a lot of good stuff with some good organization. So, I mean, look, surfing's meant to be fun, and you have kids now. I have kids. I want to also have my kids be able to enjoy the ocean and have fun like I have. So I think that, we all need to sort of do our little part to try and, help this beautiful thing that we have stay beautiful as it is,
Exactly. I totally agree with you. In order to keep having fun, we need to protect the source of the fun, that is the ocean, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about your first surfboard, like the proper one.
Yes. Which
one was that, and when?
I do remember my first real fiberglass surfboard was 5'10", and it was a Sky. It was called a Sky, and that company was just from, I think it was from Lennox Head or Ballina, which was close to where I lived, where I grew up in Coffs Harbour, and it was a bright orange board with a black rail thruster. And I remember it was a 5'10", and I must have been maybe around 10 years old. And it wasn't a new one. It was a second-hand one, but it was my first, board that I was able to say, hey, this is my board, this is my, and so it was, I remember that board pretty vividly.
And what happened to that board?
Oh, I don't know. I guaranteed it either broke or disintegrated from too much use, maybe.
Okay. But that's a good end for a board, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, I don't think I was. I don't think I would have sold it. You know what? Actually, my younger brother probably started to use it after me, maybe. And then, so maybe something like that.
Okay. When we talk about being responsible and eco-friendly, like if you use the board until there is nothing, then definitely is a good point, right?
Exactly.
Cool. In your career, you had amazing achievements. Is there one particularly that was very meaningful for you?
Well, that's a hard question.
I know.
I mean, it's because everything that I have done, so my paddleboarding career, obviously winning the Molokai was the first one was very special in 2002. And then winning the 10th one in 2011, sort of to finish that chapter of my life and career of paddling was special as well. So, in my paddleboarding career, I would say my first Molokai, was the most special. wanted to win that race and dreamt about that. So to do that for the first time was really special. And then in big wave, in surfing, big wave surfing, man, it's so many cool memories and moments, but winning the contest at Nazare was something that was pretty special. Yeah, to be able to win a WSL World Surf League event in the first ever paddling event at Nazare was pretty cool. So maybe that as well.
Okay. In your opinion, what is the key characteristic of a waterman, a true waterman? Because you're not about surf, right? So.
I think a waterman can mean a lot of different things. I really think it's just someone that really enjoys the ocean that much that they're able to use it in so many different ways. Like I think some of the best watermen in the world are boat captains and fishermen because, they're on the water all the time and, they're following the currents and the bird piles and they just understand the ocean so much and they're on the water so much, So I think sometimes the waterman term gets thrown around very loosely and specifically for maybe surfers and paddlers and stuff like that. But, I think that anyone that enjoys the ocean and spends a lot of time in the ocean is a waterman. So,
yeah, definitely. I think if you look at the large sense of the term, those guys on the boat, captains, sailing or fishing, those are like really, it's there. Is there.
Waterman and water women, like both men and the women, there's some, amazing women out there and we're seeing many, many more lately. So it's really cool.
Let's go back to surfers. You met quite a lot of surfers during your career from young to today. Not that today you're not young. We are getting older, right? We have almost the same age. So is there a particular surfer that really catch your attention and that meeting him was particularly meaningful for you?
I think Tom Carroll, for me, growing up in Australia, he was a really big icon when I was sort of in that teenage years, and he rode for Quicksilver, and I loved Quicksilver as a kid, and then eventually being able to be on the Quicksilver team and meet Tom. He was he's such a cool guy, such an open guy, and has lots of knowledge, and he's from Australia, and so I think Tom was and he was very supportive of me as well in what I was doing. So I think Tom, and I mean obviously I've got to meet Kelly Slater and the greatest of all time, and I've many Pete Mel was one of my first guys that he took me out to Mavericks for the first time, and I have a deep respect for Pete and what he's done. So hard just to mention one, but and now in my latter years, I've been hanging out with Barton Lynch a lot, a world champion from Australia, and we've been surfing a ton, and he's been, giving me a ton of wisdom and advice and stuff. So it never ends. The cool thing about surfing is it just never ends, and so I'm very lucky to have met so many amazing surfers and pick their brains and listen to them and just. It's been really awesome.
Yeah, amazing. In fact, I had the opportunity to talk as well with Tom Carroll he has been in the first series of the podcast, and amazing stories and amazing person. And what he's also doing today with the meditation courses, it's fantastic. And lots of wisdom, right? So
man, lots of wisdom and lots of stories, lots of challenges in life, and those old salty dog surfers that they have a lot of good stories to tell.
Exactly. Let's talk about your podcast. So the Late Drop. How do you come up with the idea of making a podcast?
It's something that I've had in my mind for a few years, and I didn't know if it was going to be about just big wave surfing or it would be about everything or paddling or what it may be. But, just with everything happening in the world, the coronavirus and COVID-19 and everything like that, I just thought that it would be a great time to do that. And it would give me something to focus on. And also, I really want to showcase the best men and women big wave surfers and the young kids up and coming. And I really want to show the public and get their story out about these amazing athletes. And so I thought, hey, why not do this now? And so I reached out to Surfline and I asked if they'd like to be a part of that, and they agreed. And then Future Fins has come on board as a sponsor, and so yeah, it's been really fun. I'm a rookie at it. I've only done like maybe 9 or 10, but I'm having a lot of fun doing them and learning along the way. And it's great for me to learn about all my friends that I get to interview and learn more about them and their past and their history and their future. And yeah, it's been really cool.
Exactly. I think one of the key point is that you are interviewing your friends, right? People that you know. And like for me, for instance, I interview you, I don't know you, so it's like maybe the interview sometimes goes superficial while you talking with your friends. So you can really go in depth. I was listening yesterday to the Nathan Fletcher podcast, and the Chile interview and the trip, and oh wow, it's like you get like people really hooked for like 1 hour and a half.
yeah. Nathan's podcast has been one of the most popular ones, and for good reason. The Chile story was crazy, and the near drowning experience, and the Chopu wave and the Fiji wave, and just his whole family history. It's just sort of like amazing that and that's that Chile story. Like no one had really heard that story. And I was able to have him tell that story to the world, and that's really special to me that, they're able to open up and tell stories that, that need to be told and that people love to hear.
Yeah. How do you select the next guest of the show? Like, do you have like a plan or?
I have a list of people that I've always wanted to interview, and then also I think in the moment of what's happening in the big wave world, like when the Maverick swell happened, I wanted to get Twiggy, Pete, and Kai on, and because that was happening right then, and then so if something happens or something does something spectacular, then I like to have them on while it's fresh in people's minds, and then other than that, I like to just get a wide array of men and women, like from the water safety guys or the old pioneers of Jaws or young up and coming boy or girl, or it just sort of, it's just sort of whatever my mind sort of feels like doing, I sort of just do it.
Okay, cool. In all these episodes, and as well, because of your experience as well, what is the key learning that you can say in big wave surfing?
Look, I think respect. I think you've got to have a lot of respect for big waves and for the ocean and how dangerous it is. I think that, and I think everyone is a little bit crazy, but in a good way. There's a little switch that when you need to switch on to do what they do, they're able to do that, and everyone's just got that little bit of a different mentality than most humans. And it's probably the same as race car drivers or motocross riders. They're just a little different and in a good way. So, I think that's, something that they all have in common. And I think that the one thing I get from all the people that I've interviewed from young to old is that they all have this respect for the ocean and respect for the waves, because if you don't, it can kill you.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a suicidal kind of approach, right? People still want to have fun and want to enjoy, and it's not like, but it's a risk, as I see, like as you say as well. And maybe, I don't know, like I was very undecided to ask this question yesterday when I was preparing the interview. Now I ask.
Yeah.
If you want to punch me through Zoom, do it. But
Yeah.
maybe I know already the answer. But after like a wipeout, like the one that you had in Joe's, or the one of Nathan Fletcher in Chile, or whatever,
Yep.
scary, what makes you say, okay, like I go back there, and risk my life again.
Mm.
What's the inner thing that?
It's something that big wave surfing, you've really got to love it. You might want to do it for a photo or to show your friends on Instagram or to try and be cool. But if you have a wipeout like some of the ones that I've had and some other of the really best guys in the world have, and you don't love big waves, if you don't really truly love it, you'll never see that person again. They will not come back and surf a big wave because it is so traumatic, and it's a out of body experience, like when you have a bad wipeout like that. So the true big wave surfers, guys and girls that, keep coming back after the wipeouts, they truly love it. It's truly in their blood. It's in their veins. They want to challenge themselves. And it's, I don't think I can explain it anymore, that to risk your life time and time again, if you've got family and all that stuff, you need to love it to do that. Otherwise you wouldn't be doing it,
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, but I never experienced, so it's okay. I'm on. I cannot judge, but definitely I see what you mean. And yeah, you must love it. You must love it.
Yeah, you must love it to do it like that and to really chase the swells and to make it a big part of your life. It must be something deep down that you want to do for yourself and no one else. And and you must you must love it.
Let's go back to your podcast. Is there a particular surfer that you would like to have, that you are like targeting, or that's gonna be like in your show in the future? Somebody that really you want to interview?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I think that it's a big wave podcast, so I think I need to, and I'd like to interview Laird Hamilton and Dave Kalama. I think. I know both of them pretty well. More Dave. I know Dave very well. I've stayed at his house. We've trained together, and I've met Laird a bunch of times. I've towed with those guys out at Jaws back in the day, and so I think it would be, a real honor to get both of those guys on and talk about the history of where they came from and get all that information from them. And I think that would be really cool for the public to hear about that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, and looking forward. When is the time? We'll let you know. What's next in your, let's say, in your career? There is particular projects other than the podcast and that you're working on? Some surf if you are looking forward to go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely. I created this. The BWSA, which is the Big Wave Surfers Association, and we're trying to create a better future for big wave surfers, a better future for the young kids coming up. So we're working on a lot of projects. Like part of that is the podcast, and if you've been watching me doing the live crossovers on Surfline at Mavericks and Jaws, that is a part of it as well. So really working hard to to create a platform that these awesome men and women can go out and perform on and get paid and be able to have a career out of big wave surfing. So that's something I've been working on, and it's very exciting. Hope what's going to be happening in the future. And then obviously I still like to surf the big waves, so for me to be able to get out there and catch a few here and there while I'm working on all that sort of stuff is good. So I got my family. It's important for me to give a lot of time to my daughters to try and let them go surfing or skateboarding or whatever it is they want to do, you know. So it's a juggling act, you know, being busy and you know, keeping healthy, staying fit, and just all of the above.
Definitely, quite a lot.
Yeah.
Busy life. Definitely.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish our interview with a short Q&A session. So please answer the first thing that comes up to your mind.
Okay.
It's different or similar to the 5 questions that you always ask, but not a big way. You will see.
Yeah.
The best surfboard that you ever ridden?
10-2 Pearson Arrow gun. I rode it at the Eddie. I rode it at when I got my perfect 10 at Porto Escondido, and it was just an amazing big wave board. So 10-2 Pearson Arrow epoxy big wave gun.
Great. Your favorite shaper?
Bob Pearson from Pearson Arrow in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, that's a legend. Personal question, your favorite song?
My favorite song, Back in Black from AC/DC.
I love it. Well, yes, has to be. Fantastic. I love it. I love it very much. Favorite surf spot?
Favorite surf spot? I would say Sunset Beach, Hawaii.
Okay. I didn't want to get you in trouble. I know like a lot of people will say like, no, you should have said that one. Why?
No. Well, I mean, I love Jaws and I love Mavericks as well. But,
okay.
You know, I live here at Sunset and it's where I surf nearly every day. So it's pretty special to me.
Must be. Favorite big wave surfer of all time?
Favorite big wave? Well, Peter Mel.
Okay. And the last question is a little bit unusual. We ask everybody. I ask even to Greg Knoll. Has nothing to do with surf. Best relationship advice?
Honesty and communication.
Yeah, definitely, right?
Yeah.
Without that, there is no, like, is the base of any relationship, you know, being
exactly.
Like friends or even business if you want, you know, it's just like
I think it's a basis of everything that's good. You know, if you can communicate well and you're honest, I think that's they're 2 really good traits to have, and it'll take you a long way in life.
Thank you, Jamie, for being with me on the show today, and I look forward to talk to you very soon. I really appreciate it.
All right, my man. Thank you very much, and good luck with the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Hi, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed our today's episode. If you want to know more about us, please follow www.thetempleofsurf.com and all our social media. Mahalo!